As you may have heard this morning, State Superintendent Joy Hofmeister entering the race for governor of Oklahoma.
And she is switching parties and running as a Democrat. Joy Hofmeister joins us live now. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, and thank you so much. It's good to be with you, Dave and Leanne.
Ms. Superintendent, as a lifelong Republican, switching parties now, why are you switching to the Democratic Party?
Well, let me just start. First things first, I haven't changed. I have the same values and my positions haven't changed. But Governor Stitt has hijacked the Republican Party, and too many people are telling me they feel left out. I will represent all Oklahomans, and that's regardless of party.
So you and the governor have disagreed on quite a few things. Let's talk first of all the handling of the pandemic and the mask mandate. Talk to us a little bit about the differences that you see between you and Governor Stitt.
Well, there's a very big difference in the way we lead. I lead collaboratively, and I listen to experts in the field. That in the pandemic were public health officials. When we stopped to think about how important it was to have a governor who was in 2020 listening to experts, we know that there were many Oklahoma lives lost, 10,000, and tens of thousands of family members grieving that loss, as well as those in hospitals, and now that also suffer the long-term effects or those economic impact of having high costs for being in the hospital for a long time recovering.
What do you think, Joy, about you being able to do something for education that maybe you weren't able to do as superintendent? Have you thought about, okay, so if you're elected governor, what more could you do for education that you haven't been able to do?
You know, I think that's a great way to put it. Oklahoma families want to have high outcomes for their students. And when we think about just even the last year and a half and how our children and our families have been impacted by COVID, we really know that families want to see their kids face to face in classrooms with their teachers, with their peers. And we have to do more to help them establish those losses in learning that have come due to the mismanagement of the pandemic. However, when we think about education, we have to also know that it affects everything. It's all connected. And with a good education system, we are going to have higher health outcomes, as well as a more business-friendly state that can actually see the economic upturn because of all systems working together and running on full cylinders.
So you have a lot of work ahead of you, and that obviously means being out across the state, which is something you've already been doing as our superintendent. I'm really curious as how do you see this race unfolding between you and potentially Governor Stitt, but other candidates as well?
You know, I'm going to focus on listening to Oklahomans. I have done that for the 6.5 years I've been in office, and I'm going to continue to do that. That's my leadership style. I collaborate, listen to experts, and work a plan that can actually meet those goals that Oklahomans have. But we also know that we are really hearing from folks who are tired of partisan politics. And so that's not my focus. I can work with anyone, but I'm going to represent Oklahomans regardless of their party. And we're going to make sure that we get back to common sense, working together and courage.
We haven't had an Oklahoma governor who was a Democrat since Brad Henry many years ago. How do you sway Republican votes to your side? The last election, Drew Edmondson still lost by about 140,000 votes.
You know, I think that Oklahomans are less concerned about party and more about the person leading. And so for me, it is getting in front of Oklahomans in this capacity, listening to them, assuring them that they will have a seat at the table, that their voice will not be ignored or dismissed, and that we can listen to those in business and industry, in agriculture, in our energy sector, as well as those experts in hospitals and experts in classrooms. Most importantly, stronger Oklahoma families make for stronger communities, and that's what I'm about, and that's what I want to build and support.
Joy, we so appreciate your time this morning and glad that you were able to come on here on our program and visit with us. Look forward to hearing more as the year progresses.
Thank you. It's an exciting day for us, and we are so glad we could spend some time with you today.
I do want to mention that we have reached out to Governor Stitt's office and have not heard back from him, just so that we could get some type of reaction. I know he's headed back from the border from yesterday's visit down there.